Hi, everyone. Again. Oh, Pixie.
I have no idea if this is going to work. 1 sec.
Wow. Pixie doxed himself. We now know his first name.
I also don't know if this is somehow my work account. I don't. There's
Yeah,
a lot of questions.
It's just your full name. It's just your full name, by the way. Yeah.
I'll live with that.
Okay. Just want to let you know that you doxed yourself.
I did it in the first finals thing too. I have no idea if this is going to work. 1 second.
Wow.
And I'm driving and I'll have to dip after like 20 or 50 or something.
Yeah.
All right, we're live streaming. The first minute there was a little incomprehensible. This is Ed with the Diplomats here with JJ and Sabi and Pixie, kind of in and out, going over game 2 of 2.
Woo.
You guys cover spring 1901. Sabi, JJ, what do you see?
I see a pretty normal France opening, pretty traditional. England trying to go for the channel, which is brave. And Germany doing the same old opening moves that every Germany does. Bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've seen all of these openings before. England getting into the channel is definitely interesting. Last finals game, neither of them went to the channel, so we'll see if England goes after France or they support themselves to Belgium or what they decide to do in the fall. Turkey also goes for the Smyrna to Armenia variant.
Germany.
Yeah, I mean, last night we didn't see the channel. Tonight we see it. Last night we saw Moscow hold. Tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Russia did the very standard Russian gunboat opening. Turkey did the pistachio favorite with the Smyrna to Armenia. So we'll see if they go for Sev in the fall.
It's a good move. I'm not going to lie. It's a very good Turkey opening. I'm a huge fan of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you aren't going to bounce the black, then this is what I like to do as Turkey. But yeah, I mean, everything's pretty standard.
Yeah.
Italy goes to Piedmont. We didn't see that in the first game. So everyone's got a lot of options. France can't be loving both Piedmont and the channel.
All right, let's take it to the fall.
Yes. All right. This is still the break.
You can literally watch my internet be slow as death.
Have you tried doing the whole taking your webcam off so you could lower the...
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so what do you see now?
The thing that pops out to me is the channel does go for the French dot there. So France is in trouble here. I mean, they're still building one, so they can recover. But with that Italian also bouncing them in Marseille, it seems like they're gonna have their work cut out for them here. Other than that, seems like we have somewhat of an AI versus RT in the East, which is a well-known alliance, especially in Nexus. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Russia gets into Sweden and Romania builds too in the Black Sea. Pretty good start for Russia.
I wish Denmark bounced.
I like that English move, right?
Yeah, it's a good, safe
I like
move.
the English move.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's a two builder.
It's not just that. It's yeah. I mean, so many times in the meta, it's just meant for a play on Belgium. So
Yeah.
France is thinking, oh, he's just going to go for Belgium.
Yeah, and speaking of Belgium, I don't really like Germany's decision to cover Munich here. I feel like the chances of Burgundy going to Marseille there was pretty high. So I mean, I guess it sucks if France gets into Munich, but I don't know. It wasn't a risk that I would have taken as France.
Yeah. It made no sense.
And
but
I mean, Germany would have been in a pretty dominant position if they had gotten Belgium, because France is in trouble. England's already committed to attacking France to some extent. So we'll see if they regret that. I mean, they should probably still get Belgium in 1902, depending on how things go. But they
What
might
are you
regret
guys
that.
making the move to Venice?
I don't know. It's interesting, right? Because in the spring they did like the very Austrian friendly move. They left Venice, so there's no possibility of going to Trieste in the fall. But now, I mean, we'll see what they do with it. If they want to go send stuff west or north or east, I mean, the Venice can really do anything. So
yeah.
it's very non-committal, but I mean, it's not the greatest.
What does Russia build? Russia gets two.
Probably St. Pete.
Probably Army,
Moscow.
St. Pete, and Moscow is what I would say.
Yeah.
Yep.
The traditional builds, I
England, Fleet London, and
think. And Liverpool,
Fleet Liverpool.
Probably.
just to keep it spicy.
Yeah, I mean, you're in Brest, so you might as well continue that.
Yeah. If I was France.
But isn't it a little unusual? You convoy to Norway and attack France. So now you kind of have two fronts.
That's true. I mean, yeah, England is very spread out.
It's a choice. It's like the reverse sea lion. You're just attacking everyone now because he's also in the North Sea, which is not great if you're trying to do an EG either.
Yeah. And just to point out, the one slight downside of this Turkish opening is if you do move to Ankara in the fall like they did now, Bulgaria is slightly more going to be a little bit more vulnerable in the spring of 2002.
Oh, hey, it's Miletsy.
All right, we got champion Dave Maletsky here to critique. He sees the board like nobody else. We're just going over the builds. 2 fleets for London, 2 armies for Russia, fleet Marseille,
That's interesting.
which I guess makes sense, and a fleet Naples.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Dave, no need to mute. We're going to go right to spring and tell us. I'll let Dave start. You're on mute.
Where do you want me to start? East, west?
Wherever.
Anywhere you want, buddy.
Doesn't
Just
matter.
what catches your eye.
All right. Well, see, good evidence that Turkey's in a good spot going forward, even though they're smallish. They're getting out into position, and Russia isn't attacking them, and so I think they're going to be in a good spot going forward. Beyond that, we got, let's see, Russia trying to do too much on too many fronts with too little is the short end of it. Like Russia needed to be able to focus their effort that more, and it looks like all they're doing is flailing around quite a bit. And with Turkey supporting the Austrians, it appears. Is that right? I can't really read the Bulgaria order. See,
I
Bulgaria.
think Turkey's supporting Romania to
Oh, okay.
Serbia.
Bulgaria supports Romania to Serbia.
Yep. So it looks like Russia's going to hold on, but not really go anywhere for quite a while. Whereas Turkey, it looks like, is getting into position to hole up. So really, what both powers need is for somebody from the West to come to the rescue, and that is exactly what doesn't appear to be happening. As Germany moves against England, and France also positions against England, although somewhat less effectively. What is Marseille doing? Marseille to
It's just
Just
like
supporting the
Marseille is
Italians
supporting
go
Naples,
east,
Tunis to
not
Eastern
west.
Med.
which
Oh, yeah.
makes no
That's
sense.
yeah,
Like-
it's
I mean,
extremely
he's saying Italy, don't mess with me. Go worry about the east. I'm not gonna mess with you, even though I built Fleet Marseille.
Yeah,
What do you guys think of the German? Okay, because they take Belgium. They're clearly in good position with their armies on their west front, and yet they're also setting up for maybe with the North Sea or to cut something. Didn't move to Baltic.
the Germans are super smart. Like the
Looks
Brest,
like they're preserving.
yeah, they can look at the Brest move and say France is pissed with England. So the Germans are loading up against England, who without Germany attacking them, would basically be Lord of the North, because France has one fleet up there, Russia has one fleet, and that's it. So I think the Germans are making very good choice.
Yeah, England has an interesting decision here in the fall because obviously with Germany having two fleets on the North Sea, they could support that with the Channel, but then at the same time, France has two armies on Brest, so they kind of have to choose one, assuming both France and Germany double support into the North and Brest, respectively. What would you guys do here if you're England?
I'd force Mid-Atlantic.
So,
Yeah.
So on the opposite, if I were England, I would see my only real hope as making up with France, who only has one fleet that they could really attack me with. So I would just roll over on Brest in position to fight Germany and hold on to North Sea.
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
Germany's
Well, let's
in
see.
a good spot. The blue bar of doom. There we go. So they do support the North Sea. They disband Brest.
All right, JJ, yeah. Tell us what you see.
Yeah, so England's in trouble here. They're losing Norway and Brest. So we talked about how they might have gone a little bit too far separated and after the first year, and it's coming back to bite them here. Austria moves up to Bohemia, which is also pretty interesting, presumably to just have another unit on Galicia, but we'll see what they do with that. Yeah, I mean, the East is very locked up right now, so the main movement is going on up in the West.
Interestingly, the way France made its moves, it's going to have nowhere to build but Paris, which is a good sign for both Italy and England.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Russia's building again.
Right.
A pretty good turn for Russia getting into Galicia and Norway. I mean, we'll see. Turkey's going to be
So
able
does
to hold
England
for a
had a
while.
force disband Norway, but what's the other disband for England? North Atlantic or Channel?
It was Brest.
Yeah, they disbanded Brest. They could have
Yep.
retreated to
Oh, it
Picardy, but
disbanded also. I didn't see.
Yep. So yeah, you
Okay,
can
so
expect.
all right, no problem.
Yeah, you can expect next turn they move to Norwegian, and they're just trying to effectively hold the line against Russia and Germany until one of them peels off, and it doesn't look like it's going to be Germany. So I think they're really hoping that they peel Russia off of aggression against them. And that looks reasonable because Russia's got really nothing else to gain. And, it looks good that France probably won't be against them in the short term with just the one fleet. So England's not in a terrible spot. It's just a matter of whether they can get some assistance against Germany.
Germany
Yeah,
builds
and-
what?
Germany, I think, has to build an army, even though they're fighting England. You don't want only 3 armies when Austria just rolled up into Bohemia.
I'd probably say Army Kiel.
Army Berlin, I'd assume.
I don't know. It depends on if they want to attack France or not.
We'll see.
One of the two. Yeah, I agree that it should be an army.
Well, I like this sort of RT here. That's forming.
Yeah, I mean, Italy took Tunis with the fleet in 01, which allowed Turkey to get the 2 fleets set up down there in Aegean and Eastern. So Turkey's going to be a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, I mean, now that they're in Galicia, they actually
What does
have
Russia hold?
the edge.
Probably another army in Warsaw. Maybe
Yeah.
less. Yeah.
Unless they're going to pivot against Turkey immediately, it's got to be Army of Warsaw.
Maybe Moscow? I don't know.
Moscow is
Could
defensive, but if they build Moscow, they may as well wave. There's no significant difference.
Yeah. Fleet from Germany.
We see
Interesting.
the fleet.
If I
We
was
see
France,
Army
I would
Warsaw.
wait.
Of course,
I would have. Sorry. I apologize.
What was
Yeah.
that?
go ahead, Sabi.
If I was France, I would have waived my build so I could build a fleet in Brest. But unless he's going full on with this EF to counter the RG,
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you see that Germany, if you knew that Germany was going to build a fleet as France, you're less worried about them attacking you. But I mean, I don't know. They smartly built a fleet in 01, even though it might have looked like they would have been better off building an army then. But we'll see.
I mean, I think France
Here's
is
it.
doing well, given that Italy tried to sneak into Marseille at the end of last year. Like, they know they've got to cover in the south, and they know that the German-English conflict is unbalanced in favor of Germany. So, like, I don't know. I think France is playing it cagey. Hopefully, they'll get into Picardy and or Burgundy, and maybe get their fleet down to Spain from Portugal, and be in good shape to be a balancing factor on the board. Because France ultimately is going to, as long as they survive into the mid game, the French position always succeeds. I mean, it's just the fact of France.
Yeah.
I don't know. Other than Russia,
Isn't it a bit of a concern that fleet Kiel? I'm sorry, the Kiel. I mean, Belgium's at risk if Holland doesn't support Belgium. I mean,
No, not really.
but then you have to give up North Sea. I mean, just shift around.
yeah, the fleet might get stuck for a little bit of time. Which
I
is,
don't think Germany's worried about Belgium in a spring turn, because if England were to take it right now, then Germany gets into the North Sea, which is far worse for, so I think Germany's probably just going to shuffle its army out of Holland or Belgium into Ruhr, move its fleet over to Kiel, because moving its fleet out to Baltic seems kind of insane diplomatically.
but also going to, like, why need 3 fleets against England right now? The triple fleet Germany is always a bad idea.
They want to pressure North Sea and break North Sea, but
Yeah.
they're going to need help from the Russian, who may or may not give it. Like, the Russian just moved into Norway, so we'll see.
Yeah. I just feel like it's a little excessive, especially this early in the game to have a triple fleet Germany.
yeah, if I'm Russia, I see no need to help Germany here. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm probably just chilling there for a bit, especially because the South is seeming pretty stalled out right now. There's no reason to let Germany get big.
Yeah.
France makes the smart move, supporting themselves into Burgundy and moving to Picardy.
Mhm. That Fleet Marseille has held all 3 turns, I believe. We'll see if that ever gets moving.
Well, it can now move because Italy
Yep.
left Piedmont.
Yep.
Move now.
Yep,
Yeah.
that and Gascony can backfill, and Mid Atlantic can get, France could roll into Lyon and West Med at the same time, or it could
Yeah.
try to roll up on England. Like, it's got a lot of. I love the French position.
They
Yeah,
could be better though.
yeah. I mean, the
They
East
just-
is.
Meanwhile, on the East, nothing happened.
Yeah, I mean, the East has been locked up for a while now. So
It's
who
pretty.
needs to make a move is the question. Who needs to change what's happening? Because, I mean, with the first round being pretty close in scoring, everyone in the East needs a board top to win this thing. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I think someone has to change something. Russia is already at 7, so maybe they're just gonna stick around. But I mean, they could convoy to Ankara if they wanted to. We'll see. Italy also moved to Tyrolia, which means they
Okay.
could get greedy.
The East is stagnant, but I will say Turkey, if they keep doing this order set, is showing Russia that, like, look, dude, support Bulgaria to Serbia, because that's going to go.
Yeah.
The Russians and the Turks do have a slight edge over there, and if Turkey just continues to be consistent, eventually Russia's going to get the message.
Yeah, Serbia can be taken if Russia allows Turkey in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if Russia got the message.
Let's see.
To be I want you to talk first when we go to.
Okay.
This is like old.
Yeah, that's not a great choice at all by Austria. It
Russia
feels
did get the message, but Turkey made the right decision, I guess.
yeah. It just feels very I'm so frustrated by this Austria move. Like, why? Why do you need double hits on Rum? Like, you don't need to do that. So many feelings about this right now.
Yeah, well, he left. He could have swapped Greece for Bulgaria, I guess. Could have supported Greece. This
Yeah.
is an unnecessary loss in my mind. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's completely unnecessary to have been moving Greece in the first place. You could have just moved Serbia at that point if you wanted to cut Bulgaria. I don't know. I just feel like this was a terrible move.
I understand the double cut of Rum. I don't really understand moving Greece to Bulgaria because the chances of Bulgaria supporting Romania to Serbia was going to be pretty low there.
Yeah. I don't know. Not a huge fan of Austria moves. Turkey, great move set. Proud of that. Russia, still playing it very safe. Not really wild about it. I don't know what the move to Apulia is for Italy. It's not like they're in a position to Lepanto. Not feeling that.
So I mean, now it's 12 units to 9. I mean, I guess Russia does have 2 units up north, but I mean, the RT definitely now has the edge. So we'll see what happens down there. Meanwhile, Germany gets into the North Sea. Both Germany and France have the opportunity to get some English dots here. But at the same time, they are stalemated with their armies.
England kind of blew it against Germany. I mean, they really lost position by not supporting themselves to hold in North Sea. But I think the reason they did it was because they're paranoid that France was going to roll up to the Irish Sea, and by voluntarily disbanding the fleet in North, now they can put an army back on the island and say to both France and Germany, look, it's going to be rough going and there's not much for you to gain over here. Why don't you go somewhere else? So I think it's a diplomatic overture, but I would have preferred if they just threw in with France and double supported North. But I guess they they're more worried that France is just going to betray them here, so that's why they allowed North to get popped.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair to England, Norway did support it. So even if they did that, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah,
Which is an interesting decision by the Russian. But yeah, I mean, England's in a rough spot here.
All right.
That's all. I think that's all we got for the fall.
Look what England built.
Probably
Let's see.
if they disbanded it, probably an army, but
Yeah. Army makes sense.
Army Edinburgh.
I'd
fleet
rather
from
have been a
Turkey.
fleet. I would have wished there was a fleet. I feel like, like France is not going after you now. I feel like the army is pretty useless to hold you in Norwegian.
I'm gonna disagree with that one. I mean, I think the army the fact that the army can defend Liverpool might suggest to France to not move up there, because I mean, if they build a fleet, then France doesn't have much of a reason not to send a fleet up to NA or Irish and try and get a dot,
I guess. I feel like it's a
because
little.
France can't really
Does-
bother Italy, or else Turkey's gonna get big.
Support Mid-Atlantic Channel.
What?
what was that, Ed?
Does London support Mid-Atlantic Channel?
I would hope so, because they need an extra
Probably
fleet.
going. I think London's probably going to North. Just with this, I gotta believe London's going to North. I don't see it having much else to do.
They might self-bounce Yorkshire to prevent a convoy, but Belgium is
yeah.
kind of under threat by the French.
I mean, at this point, I would just be moving Eddie down to Yorkshire and Norwegian back to Eddie and London to North and just holding up. But it's got to really dislike the Austrian position. Like they're I
Turkey
saw
go.
I just don't like these movesets from Austria. I don't know what Austria was thinking at this point. This is like 2 games in a row where Austria is just making weird, terrible decisions.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to Austria, Serbia was gone either way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But moving to Galicia doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
yeah.
Germany
Well,
gets
that was
into
another-
Burgundy. That's interesting. We'll see.
Italy
France and
comes
Germany
over-
are starting to fight, so maybe England has some life still left in them.
I also not a huge fan of like the Burgundy to Munich move. It just feels like it's easy to get cut.
Yeah,
Especially, I'd rather Burgundy had supported Tyrolia to Munich. It would have been
I
a better.
100% agree that Burgundy should have been double supported by the French.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the risk reward there was not worth the risk. The chances of them getting into Munich, I mean, of the fact that Italy actually supported them wasn't a guarantee by any means. So
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to roll into the fall.
yeah, but I mean, you gotta love Turkey here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Turkey's in a great position.
Depends on whether Russia stabs them or not. And they don't.
But you saw that Ankara move. It's
Yep,
pretty
Turkey.
good.
Thought it
Turkey
was-
was ready for it.
Yeah.
Turkey might also be fed up with Russia not moving black back to Sev and just be about to build another fleet in Khan to force them out of there.
So
Well-
Russia could have retreated to Berlin here, if I'm not mistaken, because Galicia went to Silesia, and Silesia had their open retreat. Interesting. I mean, I was confused why they.
That's a big
Ordered.
signal to Germany.
Yeah. Because like they know that the stab is coming from Turkey. So why piss off your only other ally, which is Germany? You need Germany to contain England and France. So killing off, like taking even 1 dot from them is going to be detrimental to you and ruin your relationship with them. So yeah, it makes no sense diplomatically to go to Berlin versus going back to Warsaw.
Yep, I agree. Although it is noteworthy that Austria is now sitting in Bohemia and Silesia, and Italy's in Tyrolia. So that's not boding well for German futures, regardless.
Yeah, I was gonna say the argument for Russia going to Berlin there was that Munich was already going to be under threat because Burgundy, Tyrolia, Bohemia, Silesia. So I mean, Germany's got enough issues already, so they might not be able to have the flexibility to take Berlin back for a while.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can definitely see, like Sabi said, they didn't want to ruin their relationship with the German.
Especially when you know that Turkey might be preparing for a stab right now.
Yeah, I mean, Turkey can probably get. I mean, we'll see if Turkey builds another fleet, because if they do, they can probably get into the Ionian pretty soon, which means they have some more growth that isn't Russian dots.
I don't think Turkey is going to stab Russia, but if they build, I really feel like Turkey is increasingly getting fed up with Russia not walking black back to Sev, because they've supported that move 2 turns in a row now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still
we'll
trying to
see.
show Russia love with the fleet in Smyrna.
Yep.
Yeah. But I don't like the move. An army would have been a better move. At least put a pressure on Armenia at that point.
I mean,
Before.
it is a bit of a pain to get that fleet in Ankara over on into the Med, but I think maybe they're going to regret long term having so many fleets.
Austria insanely chooses to disband Trieste and throw all of their home centers to the wind, rather than, I don't know why they're in a blood feud with Germany, but that appears to be what's happening. So
I mean, I could understand like Austria's anger at Germany
Italy-
because like Germany's just letting Austria grow, like no like movement towards Germany, towards Russia. Like Germany's just like, oh, I'm just gonna let them grow as big as possible. No pressure on them, no stabbing. Just gonna let them grow.
I mean, what that does is that gives Italy a very small
Italy
chance
has
to
to
build
take
another
Trieste, right?
fleet. Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
but
Yeah.
I mean, Austria's immediately going to lose Budapest to Russia. Like, it's not like Turkey supporting Budapest, so yeah, I think it's really, really, really terrible. You don't, they can take a swing at Munich or Berlin, but you don't throw away your home centers to go on a foreign adventure. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this is Austria effectively giving up.
All right,
Yeah.
who will win this game? 1/3 of the way through. Who will win 1/3 of the way through?
This is Russia's game to lose at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think you gotta pick one of Russia or Turkey. We'll see. I mean, Turkey, it's a pretty pivotal year, 1905 for Turkey. If they can advance into Ionian before Italy gets another fleet after the build in Trieste, which they'll probably get. If they can break through there, assuming France and Russia don't give them any issues, they're going to be in good shape. So I always love to see a Turkish Mediterranean adventure.
I'm gonna go with France. Like, I still think, even though they're tactically on their heels a little bit, they face no real threats, whereas Russia does have a significant Turkey next to it, even though they're working together. And also, even if Germany ends up falling, they're just going to be replaced in the North Sea by an English power who doesn't have any love for Russia either. So I don't know. Like, I feel long term it's going to be France, although I can see cases for Turkey. I could see a case for Russia if they get stabby with Turkey very soon and guess right. But in the long term, I feel like it's going to be France, or failing France, Turkey, or failing Turkey. Frankly, I'd put England ahead of Russia, just because, again, Russia is really spread out and has more pressure on them than the other powers I mentioned.
I'd be interested to see if France cuts through here with Burgundy, presuming that, I mean, Austria, I guess, could be going after Russia, but if they're just like memeing at this point, they've obviously probably given up. So if they do
No one
support
said
themselves,
Germany.
if they do support
sure.
themselves to Munich, then Burgundy cutting Ruhr might be a smart move.
I feel like Germany is a little too weak right now. They're not positionally in a great area right now. They look big, but like they're very weak right now.
If you listen to Doug Moore's thing on how to win with Germany, a large part of German success is generated by having vacant areas in areas that are currently filled, like Silesia, Bohemia, Tyrolia. So I think it's just there's too much pressure on them, and unless that pressure falls off, they don't have much of a chance.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, let's go to the spring of 05. On dial-up internet.
Mhm.
Wow.
Austria takes Munich and loses all three of their
Italy
home
gives up the
centers.
Ionian, which would have been lost in the fall.
Yeah. Oof.
Really ballsy guess by France to cover Brest with just Paris, not cover Paris with anything, and not sell standoff in Brest. And they were correct. So kudos to French tactics on this turn.
Oof. This was a take.
Why did Germany disband Munich and not retreat? Because now they're going to lose Berlin also.
I think I don't
Right.
know.
The answer is probably they're fed the F up with Austria and are just, just like, fuck this game, I think is the answer.
Pretty much he looks like he's just fed up with the game. He just gave up. Like he knows he can't come back from this positioning, to be fair. France is getting stronger and their joint forces win now with England, and like Russia's not really helping him much. Russia's just being very transactional.
What do you think about Italy giving up the Ionian to go to the Adriatic and having a guaranteed loss of Naples?
I think it's irresponsible at this point. Like, there's no reason for you to be in the Adriatic.
Yeah, 100% agree with Sabi. Like, that was a terrible decision.
There's
Yeah,
no
maybe
reason.
you have to, even if you've moved to Adriatic, you have to at least move to Tyrrhenian, because I mean that Turkish support of Ionian is always coming. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just feel like this was a terrible
Lots of
decision.
dots being exchanged this turn. We'll see. We'll see who ends to profit the most. Russia could potentially get Vienna and Budapest, which would leave them on 9.
I mean, Turkey has a convoy path from Greece to Naples that's unopposed, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So,
Correct.
Yeah.
Got to be Turkey.
Yeah, I mean, I think this has to
But
be one of,
Russia may take Bulgaria. Russia may get 3 bills.
I think this game is between France, Russia, and Turkey now. I mean, unless by some miracle England gets a few dots, but I mean,
I think
don't know.
England is still in it. Like, because if Russia has to start making polls at some point, I mean, obviously not right now, but if they do, the North might open up for them, and they're going to have some chances as long as France isn't stabbing them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Weird
know.
decision by Austria to have Silesia be the mover, because now, as we see in the fall, if Bohemia moved, then they would have had Berlin guaranteed and Munich.
Yeah. But they probably, I don't know.
They couldn't have predicted Germany was
Austria
gonna
bills.
disband.
On what? On what?
I mean, Austria checked the F out season.
Don't.
Yeah, they don't. Did you just say Russia, like Italy
Yeah,
was
that's
able to
the big
predict?
thing here.
Yeah, Italy was able to predict that stab. Which was
Yeah,
What's screaming out to me is that England reclaims the North Sea.
yay.
Yeah.
But I'm admiring the fact that like Italy knew that Russia was gonna stab right now.
Yeah,
Yep.
good on Italy. Italy builds one. Turkey's got a bunch of issues here, so maybe a second life here for
I
the Italians.
I don't know what Turkey was thinking about supporting Eastern into Ionian. It didn't feel like it was necessary at that point. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that move. I'd rather they had used the Aegean fleet to support to Greece. At least they wouldn't have lost Bulgaria at that point. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of terrible decisions making right now.
I mean, hindsight is 2020 if you're Turkey here. I mean, unless if you knew for sure Russia was stabbing, which I mean, with Russia already being in an Austrian dot, I probably would have figured they were gonna go after Vienna and then maybe look to stab. But
Yeah.
I mean, good decision by Russia, I guess, because they end up getting two, and now they're in a pretty good position.
But
Fair.
they did lose for all the dots. They did lose the Black Sea, so that's something in Turkey's favor.
Yeah.
I agree, though. Turkey needed to either have supported Greece, support Serbia, or to get the much better move to get Greece over to Naples. It's inexplicable why they would just shuffle the fleet over there when they could have completely had the sword of Damocles over the Italian position with an army sitting in Naples.
Or if not even going to Bulgaria, like at least had held supported Serbia from Greece, would have been a better decision than double bouncing Bulgaria.
Yeah, I mean, if Russia is stabbing, then self-bouncing Bulgaria isn't going to do much because they're going to support themselves to Bulgaria and
Yeah.
whatnot. So
It's going to
Yeah.
be interesting. I think my earlier prediction that if France survives into the mid game, they're going to explode is about to come true because they have no enemies and
For
nothing
sure.
but in front of them.
yeah, I mean, France gets Belgium in
They
this next year.
Are they going to attack England?
I don't think I think it's too early to attack England. Like I could see attacking England, but I think you profit much more by letting England do its thing and try to get Norway back while you're sucking up all of Germany. Like I mean, there's right now they've got basically a pittance of pieces that they're facing. And if they attack England, they're going to be successful, but it's going to be a grind. And as so long as England's happy to fight Russia, those pieces are doing the Lord's work from the French perspective. Like it's essentially like having French pieces that are farther advanced than your own. So like I think I could see them attacking England if they're short-sighted, but it would be short-sighted redundantly. Like they're much better off just plowing through Germany.
Yeah, and just real quick.
And the way to do that, right? Am I thinking that Brest will convoy to Belgium?
Or either that or get. I'm not opposed to frankly sticking the fleet in Belgium because you can start to creep out, and eventually, if you start funneling fleets along the coastline there as France, you're going to be able to get a French fleet into the interior, like Baltic, eventually, without disturbing your English ally, which is a real boon for you as far as being over some critical areas and having convoy pass and whatnot. So I think probably the army's going in there, but like I could see a long-term case for putting the fleet in there.
Yeah, and one thing to add about the last fall was that Germany left Denmark and Belgium supported Sweden into Denmark. So Germany might be throwing to Russia here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense because clearly their moves last year, they checked out. Like they were not pleased with something that was going on or frustrated or what have you. So I could see them wanting the one person the one neighbor who's been friendly to them to be the one to succeed.
You like the Naples disband?
Yeah, because Italy doesn't really stand to gain anything off of Turkey beyond Naples in the short term, and it's essentially trying to get somebody to do something against Russia. That and I don't know. I think it's not terrible. Like and I think Italy, sadly for Turkey, built another fleet and is signaling that they're not going to do anything against Russia. But
Yeah. I mean, I think
Yeah.
if you're Italy here, you have to understand the scores and you have to know that Russia is in a pretty dominant position. So they have to work with Turkey at least somewhat here and not waste all of Turkey's fleets defending Ione and whatnot. They need to work with the Turk.
yeah, I agree with JJ, but they did just support.
All right, JJ, you're up as we go to 06.
I'm up. Okay.
All right, let's go.
So the Italian does work with the Turk. They take back Naples, but they support. Oh, wait, never mind. They're supporting. What is Trieste? So
They're
Trieste is
supporting
supporting
Serbia
Serbia to
too.
Albania. So
Yeah.
I take that back. But Turkey does get into Serbia and holds on to Black and Khan and everything. So pretty good turn for Turkey. They did the best they could under the circumstances. Russia with the Northern Fleet continues to advance. As we can see again, Germany appears to want Russia to take Denmark. France moves north and takes Belgium. So France, a late breaker here, as Dave suggested. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, Russia's still in a pretty good spot, although their tactics down Turkey could have been better.
Just like to point out the English convoy into Holland that causes the destruction of the army in Belgium, really prescient tactics by England.
Yeah, that's a big FU to Germany.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll see.
What is
If
Carthage
France.
playing?
You cut out there a bit, Ed.
What country is Carthage playing?
I will refrain from answering this.
If it's the evidence is anything like the last game I saw Carthage playing, probably Germany is just blown the fuck up after running into some adversity and lost.
Wait.
You know,
Carthage loves to throw.
We don't.
We've been knowing this.
That's a
That's his
sore
reputation.
subject for Sabine. So
Carthage loves to throw. Everyone, just remember that he loves
I
to
just
throw.
wanted to get Sabi talking on the matter.
But I can't answer this
I
question.
think
because
Riga
I
is
saw the
Russia.
assignment list. Sorry, what?
What was
I
that?
think Riaz is Russia. That's just a
Oh, yeah.
guess.
This,
Riaz, I think he's Russian.
oh, I can't answer that, but anyone else can.
that one
I mean, that
surprised me.
checks out with his terrible tactics that just caused Serbia to get blown up. So
The Maletti and Riaz beef continues. Okay.
Look at Italy go here.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Finally, Italy does something against Russia. About fucking time.
Russia. So Russia gets Denmark, gets Berlin, loses Bulgaria,
Romania.
loses Romania, takes back Serbia, but they're only going to be even after this, if I'm not mistaken, even with the German throwing
Yeah.
to them.
I do love that Brest convoy to Belgium move.
So Turkey
Yeah.
actually is building. That's
But
really
I-
impressive tactics by Turkey.
I have issues with France not giving any docks to England to help fight in the north.
I mean, I think England knows they're a Janissary at this point. Like they're just hoping to hold on. And France, to their credit, is going around them. Like they didn't stab for Liverpool; they went to
Yeah.
Norwegian.
I don't know. I feel like this feels again very transactional.
Who can't love Italy at this point?
I can't. I mean,
Yeah.
Turkey's now back in this game, and as much as the good feelings from the last couple turns may be for the two of them, like Turkey is pretty quickly going to have nowhere to go but Italy. And meanwhile, that's gonna cause those two to lock down at least a few units in a détente at best, whereas
Yeah.
France, the world is their oyster. Like, France has got nothing anywhere near them that's even remotely pressuring them. They just got into roar. Like, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think because things went so poorly for Russia down in the south, even those dots that they still have right now are probably going to fall up pretty soon. So, yeah, I mean, I think France, as Dave has suggested, is really just going to take over now.
and should also be noted that in all likely, I think
Double army
that,
build.
yeah, I just really don't love what Russia did last turn or this turn.
I also
So-
don't love what Germany is doing by blowing up and just giving up the whole game.
Well, that's been going on for a while now.
I know, but I'm not a fan of this.
It's going to be so hilarious if it does turn out to be Carthage.
Oh God. Oh
But
God.
yeah, I mean, France probably can take Munich and or Holland in this next year. So
Yeah.
they're just
Oh,
going
yeah,
to
Germany gives no
again.
fucks. They're probably just going rogue at this point. I don't even know if they're going to go for a center. Maybe they just go to Piedmont.
Germany's probably just going to support Berlin or Denmark to keep would be my guess with Helgoland.
Yeah.
A lot of feelings about this right now.
Italy builds two armies, suggesting that they don't want to fight Turkey, at least for now. They could send those armies north.
If they're going to
and-
want to fight Turkey, why didn't they go to fleet?
I said they don't want to fight Turkey, at least for now.
Well, they
Yeah,
third, they
I
got
agree,
enough
that's what it-
fleet. They can't cram a fourth fleet anywhere against Turkey. Like if they wanted to fight Turkey, 3
That's true.
fleets is plenty.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know.
The
Yeah.
black is gone, right? But
No, the black is a guess. It's because if you send black into Romania, like there's some guesses to be made there. It's depends on how Turkey is going to try to come out into black. So, and actually, Russia could outright win the yes if they send black into Romania with all their other with
Russia can
build-
force Romania, right?
yeah, but
Serbia goes to
only
Romania.
only if Italy's not screwing with them. Like if Italy goes to Galicia, then they've got issues.
I
They
do have
cut-
issues with France building an army in Paris when you see everything that's happening in Italy and like Italy's about to blow up more. You're not putting any pressure on Italy. And you're just building army Paris instead of fleet Marseille.
I think France is playing it smart. They're trying to indicate that they're not threatening to Italy and also recognize what I was saying earlier, that in the big picture, Italy's going to have to deal with Turkey and not come towards them. So they're basically just saying like, look, Italy, your best chance is to leave me alone. I think that's what the Army Paris build says.
In Italy, meanwhile, turns.
all right, spring 1907.
Yeah, so Italy.
Turkey loses 2-3.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Like,
Italy
this Turkey
changes their
is-
minds again and now works with Russia, which appears to be not a horrible decision, but
It's a choice.
Turkey's back in the Black Sea, and since it's a spring, they're in all likelihood going to blow up the Russian fleet that just retreated to Ankara. So I don't know. Like I think it's not bad for Turkey. Turkey can afford to lose the centers if it gets rid of that irritating Russian fleet. Then they're going to be in the end game. Like that's just no matter what Italy's doing. They might not be huge, but they're going to make it to the end game if they can get rid of that Russian fleet.
yeah, but I mean it ends in 1912. So with the Italian fleets where they are, it's going to be pretty tough for Turkey to read. I mean, if they're losing 2 here, it's going to be tough for them to bounce back
Yeah.
in time.
To me, the most significant signal is English.
I'm really bullish. I'm bullish on Italy.
You like this, Italy?
This one was pretty strong, better than the last one for sure. I just don't understand like the constantly changing between Turkey or Russia. Like, are you doing a Kraken or are you doing a winter green? Just decide.
Yeah, Dave highlighted an important part there with which is what that England is helping France here, and with France already, I mean, most likely going to be taking Holland and Munich this year. I mean, I think this is France's to lose. I guess never mind, because Burgundy has to cover Marseille, so they're not going to take Munich. But I mean, nevertheless, they're in a really good position.
Yeah, and the English to mid-Atlantic is just signaling like England, you're in the end game, and England I can't imagine England wants anybody else to do well other than themselves and France at this point, because France is the reason they're alive. So like, and France has been the best possible ally. So I got to believe that England, no matter how big France gets, is still going to be throwing in against Russia until Russia starts making some concessions to them in the north. So I don't know, like I do like Italy, except for the fact that they're in the middle. You know, that's the crux of it, is that Russia is still going to be down there, Turkey's still going to be down there, and you know, like I don't know, like I think France is just chugging away, not annoying anyone except Germany, who checked out. You know, so France is going to be coming through the middle of the board, and no one seems to care. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right.
Go France, go.
Fall of 1907 on the dial up.
Go. All right. We got Germany still throwing. Go, Karthik, go, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty good turn for Russia here, right? They're getting 3 builds, I believe. Bulgaria, Romania, Kiel. So all of a sudden, Russia's at, what is that, 12?
I'm not a fan of the Turkey attacking Sev. Just hold Bulgaria. Like, you could have hold Bulgaria. You know you're going to get a cut by Aegean. Like, not a fan of that move.
I like the attack on Sev just
Turkey
because
down 2. Turkey.
they needed to blow up the Russian fleet, and that was the way to guarantee it. Like, everything else sucks for Turkey, but they did succeed. They did succeed in getting rid of the Russian fleet, and that's going to be good for them in the long term.
No, I meant like holding Bulgaria from Black Sea instead of just hitting Sev. I felt like the hitting Sev was a pointless move. Or at least hit Roberts.
Well, it prevents the Ankara going to Armenia with Sev support.
Right, right.
I guess. I just feel like it's like that type of move no one really thinks of. I don't know. I just don't think it was a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think Italy now has to turn for about the 4th time and now attack Russia and help Turkey, because, I mean, with Russia at 12, Russia needs to lose a few centers here if anyone else wants to win the.
Just an amazing prescient.
Dave, I'm not so bullish on France.
Well, I don't know. I still like France. France signaled to Italy they're not coming by holding in mid-Atlantic. You know, Germany's got a pull here, so you know whatever they pull is
Germany's
the end of
done, right?
Yeah, is the end of Germany having any impact whatsoever on the game. And France also has been signaling to Austria that they're like, look, buddy, we're not coming for you. Like they tried to get into Kiel from Ruhr, which is a huge sign of friendship to the Austrians sitting in Munich. So I don't know. I think France is really setting themselves up to have good relationships with the smaller powers, and that could pay some big dividends in the next few turns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is Munich moving to Kiel? Austria needed to be supporting there.
I don't know what Austria is doing. It's just being an annoyance at this
They're
point.
having
At least go to Berlin. I mean, you're never getting into Kiel.
Yeah.
I mean, at least least they went for a center. They're not flinging themselves into Silesia or something. So, no.
I just like I don't know.
Yeah, so
But
I mean,
again, did we
we'll
need
see. We'll see if EF has the tempo to take some of those Russian dots up north.
I don't know if they do.
Oh, Germany's off. Germany's off. I miscounted.
Yeah. Germany was off. It just felt, I don't know. I mean, yes, I get the point. Let's just kill off Germany because the Germans.
So
pieces of
France can
history.
force Munich here, which would then probably let them take Kiel in the fall. So
See, here's where, remember several turns ago, I was saying if they started sliding their fleet up the coast, like that would have really profited them right here if it was sitting in Holland, because then it could get out to Helgoland and then the whole Russian position over there would be shattered. But I think they're still in good shape. Like, hopefully England doesn't try the convoy to Norway again and goes for somewhere like Skag and tries to backfill to north, because if they get into Skag, like that's also position shattering for Russia. Like, I don't know, like I feel like I really don't like the I understand that it's probably from Venom, but I don't like the Turkish disband. Turkish disband should have been Black Sea or Ankara. Like, they needed to show Italy, like, I'm just going to hold up my position, and if you come over here not getting anything, rather than just be in a flame war with Russia, because that's only going to profit Italy, which is probably what Turkey wants, I guess, at this point.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see.
I think that it's a signal to Italy to take Bulgaria from Greece.
Oh yeah. But well, if you're Turkey, you're hoping they take it from Aegean, right? But yeah, I think Italy building an army is a sign that they're married to France, and England's married to France, and France signaled to Austria that they're happy to work with them, and then they're not anti-Austria. So I don't know. It seems like France, diplomatically for a gunboat game, is really doing a good job of getting everybody a grand entente together over against Russia over the course of several turns.
Yeah, France does well
France
here.
stabs Austria and forces them to retreat to a Russian
Yeah, I
zone.
was gonna say, I mean, if you're gonna take Munich, then there's a decent chance that Austria is getting into Berlin anyway. But yeah, bad news for Russia here. They're gonna lose at least 2 or 3 dots this year. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I agree with Dave here. I think this is France's to lose.
Russia did sniff out the move to Skag, so kudos to Russia for that.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, Italy gets Serbia. Italy and Turkey both go for Bulgaria. Neither help each other out. But yeah, I mean, France is gonna take Munich and Kiel. That'll bring them up to 9. And Russia is gonna lose Serbia, not Munich, Berlin, and Kiel potentially. So we'll see, and maybe Bulgaria also. So I mean, as soon as the end of this year, France could be the board topper. And like Dave said, no real enemies, or no enemies that can do anything about them.
I don't know. Italy can take Bulgaria, right?
Yeah, at this point, it's going to be France or Italy, 100%. It's just a matter of, what happens in the next couple turns. Russia flew too close to the
Speaking of
sun.
Which is
Italy got scared.
Yeah, I mean, Italy does help the Turk, which I guess they probably weren't getting Bulgaria, but
why go back to Tunis?
I think they would have gotten Bulgaria actually if they triple supported. So
I think they're recognizing what me and JJ have been saying, and even though France isn't aggressive towards them, they figured out that maybe they need to be aggressive towards France. Although what they should have been doing is sending their armies into the center of the board. but,
Yeah,
you know, then they're restoring Russia's chance to top the board. So this is why I was disagreeing with that earlier, because even though Italy looks awesome, being in the center of the board is a crippling disadvantage.
yeah. I just feel like if you're gonna commit to the West, at least, okay, the Venice piece didn't need to go to Trieste. Could have gone to Piedmont. You could have
Oh,
put
they were
pressure right
worried
now.
about two fleet.
Eh,
They were worried what France was going to do. I don't blame them for that.
But with
But I
two
agree with
fleets,
what Dave is saying. They could have had two. If Spain moved to West and Mid-Atlantic moved to North Africa, they wanted to make sure to cover Tunis.
I
Yeah,
guess.
but that's not how France has been playing if they've been paying attention all game.
Yeah. It
Yeah, I
just
mean,
felt like-
I think if Italy's moving west, it's because they realize that France is the big threat now,
Yep.
more than to defend Tunis. But I mean, it's possible.
Most importantly, Turkey, even though there's only a few
All right.
turns, Turkey's chances are restored.
Yeah.
Yep.
Turkey is back in it to win it, baby.
Woo.
France builds two here, probably one fleet, one army. Maybe two fleets.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see.
Building a fleet, Mark. No more fleet marks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what are they think?
I like what France
What do we-
is doing. They're just
I'm
saying,
not a fan.
France is just saying it over and over again, Italy, don't come over here. I'm not coming over there. We have no reason to waste our units fighting each other. Like, I don't know. Like, I think France has been doing really well for a gunboat game diplomatically. Like, I agree with Sabi that it's certainly suboptimal from a tactical perspective, but you know, the game's not called tactics.
Yeah, I mean, I think France has more to gain in the north than they do in getting in a war in the Mediterranean against Italy. I mean, even with three fleets down there, it's still going to be a pretty slow advance. So, I mean, I think they could have gone either
Okay,
way,
we are
but-
2/3 of the way. We are 66 and 2/3 of the way through the game with 3 powers on 9. Who will win? Predictions: JJ, Sabi, and Dave.
France is my prediction. I think Russia's doesn't have many growth opportunities, and
Yeah.
Italy. I mean, Italy has a better chance than Russia, but I really only see them getting Romania, maybe Bulgaria, maybe a Turkish dot or two. But France still has a bunch of all of England's to take if they want it, and I mean, it is a finals game, so as much as they've worked together with England, they have to, you know, eventually take those dots. Anyone rooting for anyone thinking anyone other than France is going to win?
I think Italy and Turkey both have chances. But yeah, I think France is the likely outcome. But I honestly think if Italy does the right thing and goes Galicia to Ukraine here, the entire southern Russian position is about to collapse. Like, Turkey gets Sev, Italy takes Rum. So all they need to do is Galicia to Ukraine.
Yeah.
With so
Yeah.
many powers yesterday being in 1 or 2 centers of the board top, it could be, I mean, a lot, you know, this whole tournament could be in the balance right here in the next 4 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show the different play styles in the first game. Someone mentioned that everyone overcorrected. I think Pixie said everyone overcorrected
Italy.
from Riaz.
Italy, just a really, Jesus. All they had, like I literally just told you to move to Ukraine, Italy. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, interesting
and then-
that Turkey, after all of this,
Meanwhile,
is
France
helping
says, I
Russia
think
now.
I'll take Liverpool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think France is seeing what we're seeing, and if they just get a few more English dots, I don't think anyone else can catch up to them.
Yep, and France also picked the exact perfect turn. England just pivoted into Helgoland. So interesting, very prescient.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
signaling with the Spain support of Warsaw that he's trying to be friends with Russia.
mhm.
Yep,
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't-
he wants Russia to go fight Italy. So, I think it's a good move diplomatically. Although I don't know, like I think he could have profited potentially by being a little more aggressive earlier but given his position with all the armies, it's the right thing to do. He's just got a bunch of defensive support orders in Germany.
Yeah, I don't really understand what Turkey's doing here. I mean, you only have 4 years left, and assuming you're playing Turkey, you probably have a decent score from round one. So, just you would have probably gotten Sev here, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
not supporting an attack on Sev is the singular worst move of this game, I think.
Like, what do you have to lose? I mean,
He did not want Italy to get Romania. That's why he didn't cut Sevastopol.
That's true, but like I don't know. Like I think you want to get Sev and get yourself a build, get up to 5. Because you can see he sent Ank to Khan, so Bulgaria was going to be safe for the fall. So I don't know. Like I agree with JJ.
yeah, I think both Italy and Turkey sort of blew any chance that they had on that turn. France takes Liverpool.
All right,
goes
France.
east.
Italy wants Turkey.
Oh, well, oh shit. Okay, we don't see anything. Oh, well, we do see the country assignments now. Oh, well.
Russia does not
Right,
accept
you don't see them.
Russia does not accept the olive branch from France.
Yeah.
And now this turn,
And
Turkey,
Italy repays Turkey's favor.
yeah, Turkey just really screwed up their entire position with that last move's BS.
Oh, yeah. Not a fan of this.
And now Italy has decided,
All
like,
right.
I was gonna try to hedge against France, but now you've proven that you're so capricious and unreliable, Turkey, that I gotta come back over here, and you're because you're not doing the job you were meant to do, which is get some centers. I think this is
Where's
starting to
France gonna grow?
France,
England.
yeah,
Literally,
it's gonna get Irish into Wales, and then like they're gonna get London, like
yeah.
also, and plus they just put another fleet down, like and Italy is completely denuded its back area now too because of all the trust they've built up with France over many years. So like France has opportunities. Like although I think where this is headed is just a lot of stagnation while France absorbs more enough centers out of England to secure the board top, because looks like it's headed to a draw at this point unless Russia works with Italy to explode Turkey, but there's been no sign of that recently. So, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, Italy does have a puncher's chance here. But yeah, I mean, France will be able to take London eventually, most likely Eddie also, which would leave them at 12, which would mean Italy has to get 3 more dots to tie. And that seems pretty unlikely to me.
Yeah. Also, interestingly, Russia's about to get the North. So that's something. Russia might have a puncher's chance as well.
I was just about to say that.
They do, but it seems as if I don't know how much that move is going to do for them.
What about that move from Venice to Piedmont?
Oh yeah. Finally. It only took,
Too little,
10
too
years.
late, maybe.
Yeah. It only took 10 years.
I mean, if Russia supports London to hold, then it's possible if France doesn't build, which maybe means those 2 units might be enough to cause some havoc, but probably not.
Yeah.
Italy does not get into Smyrna. Turkey fends them off. Yeah, I mean, just lots of guessing going on here. The only real movement is in the northwest of the board, and a little bit of that Italian movement. We'll see if the east breaks down at all, or if everyone's content sort of just holding there.
Yeah, I don't love the French decision making. They needed to move Irish to North Atlantic, not to Liverpool. Because what's going to happen? England goes to Liverpool, and then you blow them out of there the next season. Like, there's no downside. Like, moving to Liverpool is just really a overly conservative and terrible move.
All right, let's see what happens in the fall. Russia support London. No, York did.
That's a choice.
Okay, but Italy takes Munich.
Also, terrible decision making by France. Why do you need to throw your Holland to throw a signal when you could just use that to hold Kiel and have Ra hold Munich? Like, I don't get the logic behind this.
Yep, I agree with Sabé. It's too late for that.
100%.
By the way, we do see that Riaz was Russia.
Yeah.
And Karthik was the one. Somebody said that.
I think we said Karthik was Germany, but
yeah, we did say it was Germany, but I couldn't agree or disagree with it due to.
Was hoping Karthik was Germany, because that would have been the
We
funniest.
could still pretend he is.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I mean, Italy's at 10, France is at 9, and I mean, France
Russia's at 9.
doesn't really have anywhere to grow now because Russia's getting Eddie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Russia's probably going to hold London. So I don't know. I mean, it's going to come down to the wire.
Diplomacy prodigy Quicksand, who's a preteen, kind of.
Just got a little
not
too
doing
greedy
bad as
here,
France.
quick.
Go quick.
You just got a little too greedy here with
All
that
right, let's.
signal of Holland.
Italy finally builds a fleet.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
only took, forever.
at this point, we have to sort of start looking at the round 1 scores, because assuming
I do have the round
France was one of the first powers taken, at this point, Italy's ahead of France in the scoring, and it's probably pretty close with Riaz in Russia.
Yeah. Okay. So Evan was giving me updates per every winter. As of winter 1910, Karthik was at 89 points. Quicksand was also at 89 points. Krill was at 153 points. Stover was at 0. Welcomebot was at 37. Riaz was at 109. And Estachio is at 130.
Okay, so yeah, so I mean,
looks like quick.
that really means that Turkey's decision to not go for 7 there might end up costing them, because if they had got another build or 2, they might have been able to come to Italy a bit, which might have been enough to tip the balance.
Yeah, this game is now Italy's, I think.
Yeah.
Ed was has turned out to be correct after all these turns, because
Will Karthik hang on?
But why the
No.
support? Why the support? Like, why the support? I don't get the point of supporting Burgundy to Marseille.
Oh, well, because he can take it. Because he moved to Burgundy so now oh no, it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, it's not.
Sorry.
That's why I'm like, I don't get the unnecessary support into Marseille.
I mean, I think if you're France here, you have to send one of those northern fleets to MAO, because you're gonna lose Spain and Marseille pretty quickly here if you don't.
Yeah, it needed to happen this past turn.
But they're just too busy trying to kill off England for I don't know what reason.
Because England's not defending against Russia. I mean, I think England's plan is just like France. France is the one who most recently screwed me, so I'm going to let Russia have the dots. You know, which is perfectly reasonable.
Which is Karthik.
Dun dun dun.
All right, fall. So just a lot more infighting. Italy again turning too late towards France. A little too late for that.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, I mean, Matthew doesn't know exactly where he's at in the scoring, but I mean, he's topping this. He had a pretty good score in round one, so we'll see. But I mean, I think at this point, he's not going to be able to get too many more French dots if France sends. France continues to defend, but probably isn't going to matter, right? Because his only real competition in terms of points is Russia and Turkey. And I mean, Russia is now at 10. I guess maybe Russia has a chance here. It's not over yet.
Vienna getting into Galicia seems to be saying that Romania is about to become Italian because Turkey
But
was
now Russia has 3 on Munich, right?
Yep, but so does France.
Yeah, if France doesn't fuck it up. But
So what was the scoring out between Riaz, Matthew,
and... So for winter 1911, here's all the points as of winter 1911. Karthik is at 85. Quicksand is at 89. Krill is at 126. Stover's still at 0. Welcome Bot is still at 37. Riaz is at 122. And Estacio is at 130.
So Riaz needs a dot. Riaz needs the top to win. So if the centers hold as they are, so this is really coming down to the wire here. If Riaz tops, he wins. If they stay even, or if Italy tops, then Matthew Krill will be the winner.
I gotta say, I hate the English disband. Like absolutely should have been London.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure at this point he's not really thinking too much about the game because his chances are done. But okay, Russia gets into Munich, but Italy gets into Marseille, so they're even right now.
Yeah. All right. I like how this finals is not decided till the very, very last turn.
Although Marseille is not holdable.
It is.
Right.
I think it is.
No, there's 3 on it.
Yeah.
Oh no, Sabi's right.
There's 2 on Marseille.
Yeah.
If they don't mind, it'll. So yeah, it is because, but only because we know the next turn is the last turn.
Yeah.
Oh no, Mid-Atlantic West Med can cut Lyon. So
I mean, it's all a guessing game at this point.
Yeah.
It's not holdable.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was holdable if Lyon had supported Marseille, but they went with the more the other valid option. They didn't have a perfect.
Here's the final tally of.
Hold on, let's get the thing on this game before you know. Riaz at 12. What a comeback at the end.
Yep.
Yes.
For Russia. What a comeback.
Russia in these finals. Everyone sleeps on choosing Russia because Riaz was at 6. So
Well, the two concluding thoughts I have about this game are that France running in on England really screwed up their position.
Oh, yeah.
And if France had just let England continue to do its thing, they were never, in all likelihood, going to peel off from them because France had been a good friend to them all game. I think France just got jumpy. And
Oh,
then the other thing is that Italy wasted so many of the preceding turns swinging, doing the hokey pokey and dancing towards Turkey, dancing back towards France, back to Turkey, back to France. Like if they had had a concerted effort in a singular direction, they would have topped the board.
Well, I think Riaz is
So does
here on
Riaz
the
win
call.
the entire turn?
Speedboat King Riaz making his
That's
Yeah.
enough to win it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so here's
that's
the
back to
final
back, right,
points
Riaz?
total. Here's the final points. Karthik at 83, even though he tried to throw and he sucked at it. Quick
When did I try to throw?
83. Tried his best. A little too late. Krill at 111, which is great because he's like a low frequent player. Stover at 0. Welcome Bot at 37. Riaz at 169. And Estachio at 128.
You don't mean Riaz, you mean Speedboat King, because that's what I
Yes,
see.
the Speedboat King right now, who is also in the Nexus finals for press right now. So he is gonna dominate. all
Riaz,
of
are
them.
you tired of winning everything?
No, I still got one more to go.
Are you gonna go for the gunboat?
He's calling
and
his shot.
Cold War as well?
The triple
Nice. He's calling his
crown.
Nexus shot.
He's just gonna get for every finals at this point.
He
Riaz, who did
aimed
you
his bat at
play
center field.
yesterday?
He pointed to the center field stands and he said, "There we go, Babe Ruth."
He's just trying to take Pez's title of Nexus all around at this point.
That's a nice feather in your cap, but it's not the one I'm going for. It's that press championships. That's the one that that I got in mind.
That's what I was calling. That's the shot I was hoping you were
Yeah.
going for.
I'm just saying he's gonna go for every finals. At this point.
Riaz, you won the tournament, so I'm waiting for you to complain about how other players played now.
Yeah, let's hear
I-
it.
Yeah, give us the
That's
analysis.
classic.
Let's hear it.
Riaz always complains.
We haven't
I
heard you
got no
complain once.
complaints. I got no complaints for you today, Ed.
Wait, why do you end up as Russia always one player that throws to you? In this case, it was Stover's Germany. Every time.
Well, Stover's Germany went random, I would say, more than throwing. He was helping Russia a bit, but it was more like an implosion.
I mean, Stover's here. Defend yourself.
Yeah.
I was trying to try and disengage a little bit against Karthik. It wasn't really working out. I was trying to get past him to get to France, and I wasn't really never really tried to get on his island. And I helped Riaz get Norway, but I felt like I could maybe mend some fences a little bit. But I was just trying to get to France, and I had 3 fleets, so I had to use the fleets. So I was just trying to get past them. And then, Austria fucking torpedoed into me. Sorry for swearing. But I was all like, oh.
That was unfortunate.
I'm just,
Was unfortunate.
I was like, when you guys said, well,
Austria disbands Trias.
he's just,
I mean, from Riaz's perspective, it wasn't unfortunate.
Yeah,
Not
but what are you trying to say, Stover? Sorry.
your commentary at the time when you all saw it was pretty spot on. It's just I was done with the game,
Yeah, it happens.
Like I said, Riaz
It
is
happens.
just lucky. I'm just saying, can we just make sure Riaz is not in the finals for July, August? You guys? Can we just
It's
Yeah.
what we would like to currently frame as pulling a Karthik.
yes, pulling a Karthik.
What's pulling a Karthik?
Throwaway.
Whoa.
The funny thing about all of this is that Eustachio and I actually tied for the for the last automatic spot. And if I would have had to go to the qualifier, I would not have had time to play, so I would not have been in the finals.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that tiebreaker formula, whatever it was, and whoever the genius was that came up with it, that got me to the finals. Thank you.
I'm gonna. It's all Saren. Saren decided that.
Riaz, who did you play yesterday?
Yesterday I played Turkey, so it's the same two as I played last time.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Why are people sleeping on picking Russia or Turkey? But then again, I feel like us pointing out that Russia has been great in these finals is just going to put a target on their back for the finals.
Well,
I
here's
did
the
you
thing.
I would say Russia isn't inherently great or anything like that. It's a hard country to play, but it's the circumstances of the finals that really resulted in Russia performing well in both games, because in neither game did England or Germany work together at all. I mean, in this game, there were clear signals for an EG, but Germany denied it. And then in the first game, England opened north, so I went anti-German, anti-English. And when you don't have an EG in the north and Russia can get those extra dots and then fall in the south, it just lets Russia get big and then win.
And if you look at game 2 of the finals, Russia tends to always do really well because remember, in the Nexus formula for Speedboat, the countries that do the best in the first game typically end up with Italy and Turkey. And when everybody knows that Turkey had the highest score, and Turkey becomes completely dependent on Russia, all of a sudden you're in a great spot. Plus, you look at the West, and the person who got England typically also fared very poorly according to people's preferences. So them going after Russia sort of doesn't really make too much sense, because what are they going to do? Get to St. Petersburg? And in the meantime, France and Germany need those scores as well.
Yeah.
I think it's noteworthy.
Riaz, I think yesterday you were down to 2 with Turkey.
I was down to 2. I was very fortunate because Austria, or Max, got really, really greedy. And because I had Eustachio as my Russian neighbor, we tend to work really, really well together. So once things started rolling, it was smooth sailing.
I think it's noteworthy that
Karthik, how does it feel to get mastered by a 12-year-old?
Yeah, what, by a 12-year-old?
You got beat by a 12-year-old.
But before we dive into that, I would like to say that I'm fine with it because I got what was most important. I crushed Max's regular season score. I stole that first place crown that he was
Again,
so proud of.
Okay, first
And
place in regular.
Who did you play yesterday, Karthik?
yesterday I was Germany. So that game was actually really, really interesting to me. I think that game I was basically just always behind the 8 ball. My goal was basically to try and manage the East while picking up dots in the West. And I could just never, ever, ever get a read on what was going on in the South. And I think I did like a decent job of making sure that Austria didn't get too big, but I could never find a way to go after Russia after Austria started collapsing, because me and France could just never see eye to eye in that game. I'm not sure who France was in that game.
Yeah, Karthik, I was France in that game.
Yeah. And like,
Yeah,
I if we could have ever just gotten like, so at one point we had like our border like relatively demilitarized, but then when you convoyed back to Picardy, at that point I was like, I need that demilitarization back, or we're just going to be stuck here forever.
Did you enjoy us saying that it was a very transactional play that you were doing?
I would disagree that it was transactional. I think with regard to Russia and Austria, my interference there was very much more bouncy. And with France, I viewed France as a really good ally until I didn't.
You were just very chaotic with your alliances as Germany.
Yes, I was very wishy-washy. Yes, because
it kept going back and forth.
Yeah. Especially with those 2 fleets there. That was purely because, like, I was like, oh man, I'm happy with the EG. Let's go EG. And then I saw how quickly Austria was going. I saw like, potential for an AIR or an AI, both of which like, I'm not too happy with. So I'm like, okay, like, let me try and go the other way. And then at a certain point, Austria got really big. And then I was like, okay, I got to super lay off Russia. It was more a combination of like just me trying to react to the East and make sure no one there resolved it too quickly than me like trying to be as transactional by any means with the West. But Molesky,
Matt Krill,
wait, but before we go on, Molesky tried to say something, and I want him to say what he
Yeah, let's see, say it.
Oh, I was just gonna say that Riaz won by making the fewest strategic errors. Like Max near the end of the game had the ball. All he had to do was not roll into Liverpool, not attack England, not threaten England, who was doing nothing but good work for him. And then he handed the ball over to Italy. And then Italy had spent if you look back to I think about 07, 08, was just like swing this way, swing back this way, swing this way, swing back this way. And, and so then Riaz, who had just been playing a solid game and waiting for good fortune, got it, so I think Riaz's patience ended up being the deciding factor.
Yeah, just to add on.
I agree.
Just to add on to that, I mean, especially in the second game of the finals, everyone seemed to be aggressive. And I mean, even at some points, we were a little bit questioning of Riaz's decisioning up north just to be so passive and even to help Germany out at the point where Germany was looking pretty strong. But I mean, I think his decision to be somewhat of a, not stabbing and not being too hectic, just sort of sitting back and allowing opportunities. I mean, I guess you did stab Turkey once.
I'll take the contrarian position here before I let Riaz go over why he was correct to do what he did. But I think he was absolutely correct to put Germany into the North Sea, because what it does is it gets the fleets that Stover had moving away from him, because he has 3 fleets, right? Like, that could easily rotate towards like Scandinavia if he wanted to. But by putting them towards me, they're in a position where he can never actually really get any dots off of me, because I moved all my units in a way that could defend against any German assault for basically forever. And Riaz never made any attempt to change that reality. But I think what he did was really, really smart to dislodge me out of the North Sea. It basically guaranteed that he would have no headaches up there and have a really, really friendly German ally that was actually impotent and looked much scarier than he actually was.
Yep, I agree.
Matt, you had a great finals. Tell us about. I mean, what a jump from Italy. It wasn't looking good for a while, and then you did it. You almost won.
The crucial move there was kind of Riaz moving against Turkey there, which gave me kind of second life, and had a lot of armies to push into that area there. But I think, like Dave was saying, I was going back and forth between Turkey and France. What I really wanted was to try and get some more dots off Turkey and have Russia keep pushing to get a few more dots there, build some more fleets back home to come back over against France. But, Riaz held off in pressing that attack against Turkey. So I think I stayed over there too long before realizing I wasn't going to make any more gains off Turkey and swing back. So I think that was the big flaw towards the end there.
And I think Turkey's decision, Dave and I were a little bit upset over that one turn where Turkey did not go after Sev. That definitely helped Riaz out a lot.
Yeah, the worst move of the game when he didn't support himself to Sev.
Which year was that?
Like 1909, spring 9 or spring 10, something like that. Or maybe
yeah, that was.
He had it locked up. All he had to do was support himself in, and could have held Bulgaria in the fall and grown, and instead did some incomprehensible shit.
Yeah, it was spring 09.
But his intention wasn't purely the normal gameplay. He wanted to try to keep things even between myself and Italy and France to improve his chance to win the tournament.
Right. So yeah, he could still win with the second place. Like if Russia was like Austria or England from game 1, and Italy, so we know Russia, probably was a good player in game 1. sorry. Like, Italy was a good player in game one, because if you got Italy, chances are, like, you didn't want him. So if he could find a way to get a good second place while keeping Russia and Italy and France in a position where no one gets any tribute, that was his path to getting the tournament win.
Yeah, I didn't want Italy in this game, so
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want England. I mean, I was, number 2, so this is my 6th preference, I guess, or whatever.
yeah.
You played a great game as Italy, though, Matt. You played fantastic.
Agreed.
Yeah, I wasn't giving you much of a chance, and Ed called it that you really had a legit chance throughout the game. Played great up until the last few turns.
Yeah, last few turns, I was trying to, try and make some more wild guesses, to try and get a few more dots. So it happens.
Yeah.
I was just rooting for you, Krill. I wanted a new winner. I wanted a new
No,
final so we could have
Now
the
we're stuck with what, the Speedboat King? Is that what I see on here?
Yeah, unfortunately. 'Cause I wanted to do the whole each season be in a one board, so we had like the top winner. But now we can't because of Riaz winning
Well,
again.
Well, we just need to do another one, and then
Riaz
that person's
won.
different.
Congrats, Riaz.
I did.
He should. It sounds like something where he should be opening up some franchises. Just going around to different, backstabber, play dip, web dip, just, fanning out the kingdom.
Over 12 million Belgians served.
Just from place to place just to find anyone to play Speedboat with him, even though no one will play with him now.
Well, I'll play with Riaz anytime. He's a great player to play Speedboat.
Oh, you know what I mean? Because he's the Speedboat King. No one wants to play the Speedboat King.
I've been the Speedboat King in individual games before. That's where the fun is. That's where the challenge is.
Okay,
Play the best.
DixieCon champion.
Oh my god, not this again.
We also want to point out we got 3 firm commitments to attend Carnage on this Zoom call right now.
Yeah.
So to anyone else on the call or in the audience, if you want to try your luck, and maybe we can lure the Speedboat King. So you
got my hotel booked. Just need to book my flight.
Yeah, come on, Speedboat King.
Riaz is.
I would love to have to see how all the border issues shake down, and if I'm going to get a COVID test to go back and forth.
Yep. Yeah. Hopefully, that all starts getting resolved soon, because we got some Europeans we want to come over to.
And I'm looking at it, Dave. Trying to come.
Awesome.
Yay,
That'll be
it's
awesome.
over.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm
Doesn't JJ
busy
live?
with.
Where do you live?
Where do I live?
He's
Don't
gonna
you
be.
live in Boston? Oh, or are you just a fan of the Celtics?
I'm just my dad's side of the family's from Massachusetts, but no, I'm from
It would be
California.
illegal to ask a minor where he lives.
Yeah.
I was hoping that his Celtics fandom meant he was in Massachusetts, which is essentially local
He's
to
gonna
Carnage.
be in Indiana.
No, my aunt lives in Vermont, in Warren. I don't know if you know where that is.
Woo!
But yeah, so I've been to Vermont many times.
Our future Weasel is moving to Indiana in next month, actually.
Yeah, August 20th.
Yeah.
I leave for college.
What school are you going to, JJ?
Notre Dame.
Wow. Ask a minor which school
Congrats.
he goes to, Riyadh.
that was
Krill.
That was me.
Oh, Krill. Oh, sorry.
Krill's
Yeah.
a parent himself. It's less
All right,
creepy.
well, we're going to end it by
Yeah.
saying, JJ, it's too bad you couldn't go to a real university.
Yep, that's what I said.
I mean,
Notre Dame's a fine
winning
runner-up.
school. He's going to a winning school, okay?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I.
They're barely accredited.
This is
They're
why
not
you
even
didn't want to air.
Catholic anymore. Okay. And then, let's see, Matt, I hope you're okay in Seattle with the heat wave, and Riaz as well. I don't know where Silver is, but he looks fine.
Oh, Chicago.
Thanks to everybody, and we'll do it.
All right, bye,
That
everyone.
was fine. No heat
Right,
problem.
bye, everyone.
All right, bye, everybody. Congratulations.